Mr. President,
having said that, that was a crisis moment that had to be addressed. What people are absolutely right about is that we've got to make sure that moving forward, we're doing so in a responsible way, and the best way for us to do it is to do it with a scalpel, not a machete, and to make sure that the cuts we're making are not eliminating those things that are going to help us grow. Because here's one interesting statistic. 1 percentage point of additional economic growth next year or the year after actually would do more to close the deficit than anything else that we could do, because it brings in more revenues. So, if we can make sure that we are eliminating wasteful programs while at the same time growing the economy, that should be the sweet spot that we're aiming for.
Mr. President, why is no one who supported the health care bill running on it?
Well, I think that you've seen a couple $100 million worth of negative TV ads that make it very difficult to do so. The fact of the matter is that there was an awful lot of misinformation about this health care bill while we were debating it, and that has continued after we've finished debating it and after it's in the law. So, I recognize that folks feel barraged by negative information, but let's look specifically at what was in this health care bill. You've got us closing the donut hole so that senior citizens are able to get their prescription drugs. We've got young people who are able to stay on their parents' health care insurance policy until they're 26 years old. We've got young people who can now get health insurance even if they've got a pre-existing condition. We've got basically a patient's bill of rights that says that insurance companies can't drop you when you get sick, can't drop you because of some fine print in your insurance policy, can't impose arbitrary lifetime limits that mean you might be bankrupt even though you've got health insurance if you had a serious illness. When you look at the specific provisions of the health care bill, they're all very popular. And, I think that it's going to be very important as these things get online and people are seeing how this provides more choice and more competition for them, gives them more control of their health care, gives them more options, allows them to keep their doctor. I think that a lot of this is going to go away.
You've earned more than your fair share of political stripes. Is it, politically speaking, a mistake for the Democrats who supported the health care proposal not to be running on it, to go full bore in support of it out on the campaign trail?
My strong belief, and this is just a personal theory, is that you wake up every day, you do what you think is right, and you make sure that you're not embarrassed about what you thought was right, even if it's not politically expedient. And that's how I've tried to govern. My attitude has been that I was sent here to take on hard problems. We took over at a moment where probably the nation was facing the greatest set of challenges, at least since World War II. And, we should be clear and strong about the steps we took to save this country from a second Great Depression, to make sure that we still had a U.S. auto industry and can produce clean cars for the future, that we made the biggest investment in clean energy in our history so that solar panels and wind turbines are built here in the United States and not somewhere overseas, that we are working to expand exports, that we're improving our education system, that we've got a health care system that is now on track to provide better quality at a better price. Those are things that I want everybody to know about. And obviously, as long as unemployment is as high as it is, people are still going to be frustrated. There are a lot of folks who are hurting out there. There are families who are losing their homes. There are people who have been looking for a job for a year. And in those circumstances, people don't want to hear a lot of happy talk, and we shouldn't pretend that we've solved every problem out there. We've got a lot of work to do, but I am very proud of what we've accomplished over the last 2 years. And the key question for folks who are looking forward is, what is the agenda to bring about growth and expand our middle class over the next 2 years? And the fact of the matter is, it's very hard to figure out from the Republicans what exactly that agenda would be. Nobody believes that tax cuts for the wealthiest 2% is somehow going to significantly cut our our unemployment rate. Nobody thinks that us cutting education is going to prepare us for long-term competitiveness. Nobody thinks, by the way, that Republicans actually have a very good track record when it comes to dealing with debt and deficits. The last time we had a balanced budget and surpluses was under a Democratic president, and they ran up the tab so that I inherited a $1.3 trillion deficit.
Mr. President.
And so I think that if people are focusing on the choice in terms of whether we pursue policies that got us into this mess, or we're pursuing policies that have gotten us out of this mess and are moving us forward, then I think we will do fine on November.